Hey guys, so if you've been following my channel for the past couple of years, you will know that the GK1 pistol that we have here is actually built off of my prototype, which I built 3.5 years ago. And this was done, modification basically done from K1 bullpup gun from Huben. So in this video, I wanted to make a comparison of what is the same as on my prototype, what is different, if what is different is smart or not, at least in my opinion, and also I will give you my overall opinion. So this whole thing that I built a prototype started basically simply because I was fascinated of how small the action of Huben K1 rifle is, bullpup is. And the fact that this chamber, previously made of the titanium on K1 rifle, is actually almost perfect size for pistol, right? So it kind of a couple of things fit, and that's why I decided to build this, not knowing that it will be as popular as this, not knowing that it will produce the power it has, and had such a high impact on you guys, which I'm really happy for. And so I want to point out here that although I am considered at some point, and I like to brag about it, that this is GK1, Gregor Kamenšek 1, right? Despite the fact that I made this prototype, the action, it wouldn't happen without Huben action, because Huben action is the heart and the soul and the whole of the pistol. What I did is, it's not nothing, but it is everything that is needed for that action to become a pistol, not just a bullpup rifle. So let's get into my ideas from where I started and how this translated into serial production. You might not know, but as soon as I made first videos of my pistol, my prototype, I immediately sent Huben an email advising them that they build this, and it took some time, and after a while they said, yes, we will build it, but don't tell anyone. And I said, great. And I waited, and I had to keep lying to you that I'm not building it, that it's not worthwhile, blah blah blah. And I was lying you because they asked me not to reveal it until they're ready, and I had no idea it will take 3 years. Understandably so, this is a serial production product, this is a prototype, this takes time, but still I was quite devastated at that time, because I'm not the kind of person that holds secrets. In any case, let's just get on with the video. What is different, what is the same? So first of all, what you can see immediately, that the pistol from Huben is slightly longer, although the barrel is only 1 centimeter in difference. Mine is 20 centimeters, this is 21. The cylinder is significantly bigger on the production version. Of course, they had an option to make it as big as they wanted. I had only option to take the plenum from the K1 rifle. And of course, that is one of the big advantages over my pistol, is that it holds much more air. I'm much more limited in shot count or in power, depending how I want to set it up. The second choice is that they made it unregulated. I have it regulated right now. The regulator sits fully in the back, and I would say that this is actually a good choice on their side, personally. I had mine unregulated as well, and if you remember my first 2 videos, the reason why I regulated it is simply because I did not dare to put 300 or 350 bars in the action. I did not know if it can take it, because the rifle is built and the gauge also shows only up to 220 bars. The green is only up to 220 roughly. So I did not dare to go higher. So when I made the pistol and I first had it unregulated, I only filled it to 220 bars. And the highest energy powers that you received from that videos is actually from that pressure. But in order to get the higher powers that actually GK1 can do compared to mine, is because those powers are achieved at much higher pressures of the GK1. So that is the first reason why I regulated it, because if I said I want to charge it to 350 bars or 300, but I don't dare to do this in the action, I only dare to do this in the cylinder. So I put a regulator in, set it to roughly 170, 180 bars, and I went from there, right? Now I do get really consistent shots, and I did notice that the gun does, the point of impact does change with the pressure. Especially it goes a little bit up because the acceleration is slower, and the muzzle flip happens more at lower pressure despite having the same power, let's say. So I also did notice this. I haven't tested this on the pistol. We'll see how this goes. Huben said that there is no real change in the impact with changing the pressure. So I do think that this is better, having unregulated. And that is all. There is only also one additional reason why I think that, and that is because my plenum right now is really small. So even if I put the regulator to relatively high pressure, I still get relatively low energies. Now with shorter barrel you need a smaller plenum, but still I'm kind of on the limit because I still want to have some air here, because I'm using only this portion, right? And this is using the whole portion for the cylinder, because you have to consider that not only regulator takes up space, but also the plenum is wasted space. That is not space used for air. That is just intermediate chamber, let's say. I did suggest when I discussed with Huben how the production should look, that they would actually put a plenum in the stock. That would be really nice, but it's kind of complex. For me, it's almost impossible to do. So it turned out that they just went with unregulated. And also keep in mind, the regulator is usually number one problematic part of the pistol. So I don't really hold a grudge about that. Actually, I prefer it this way. And also you have to know with pistol, you're not looking for one MOA groups. You're looking just to have good enough accuracy to maybe shoot out of a sandbag with the red dot. That is the maximum accuracy that is expected. And from what I saw from the videos I saw already, as I mentioned, I haven't done really accuracy test with those pistols yet. The accuracy is excellent, so I'm good. Okay, so let's go forward. Here is one thing I didn't like where they went, and that is with the rail. They went with 11mm dovetail, and I have Picatinny. Mine and theirs have these options only on the barrel part or the shroud or whatever you might call it. And this is a second thing I don't really like on the production. I really wish they made something here. There are some adapters, I believe, from US, some custom adapters that make possible that you put here. Because if you use a red dot or scope, you want to put it on as far back as possible. So that's a thing I really wish that they've done, because they could have done it. Let's go to something a little more, let's say, those of you who shoot firearm pistols will appreciate, and that is the fact that usually you want the hand to be as high as possible, so it's close to the barrel, so it's close to the recoil, so you get most of the recoil just back, not up, not muzzle flip. Of course, these are air guns, and although the high power is high, it's still muzzle flip is minimum, but still the feel of having arm right up against the barrel, it's really nice. And that is why I went for this design. I have separately this part, and the stock goes only here, and this is already an action here in between. Now this is a compromise that I understand why they didn't make it like this. They made it lower, and that is simply because of the length of the pull. I have really big hands, so but still you see that I push this trigger slightly back in order not to have too too much length of pull. I guess that is called length of pull. I'm hoping. In any case, I'm talking about the distance of a backside of a grip and the trigger. So in my pistol, for me, it's perfect. But for a smaller person, I guess it would not be perfect. And since we are at the grip, I kind of like mine that is really chunky, so really fat this way, because the pistol is quite fat because of the magazine. So I like how it grabs. I really like holding mine in hand. Now, I would like to point out that this one is by no means uncomfortable. It's actually really nice. It's just that for me, I kind of squeeze it here quite a lot because it gets much thinner here. I'm guessing this is nice for most people. And you also have to consider that I don't have more than 4 days this pistol, and I had this for 3.5 years. So I'm really used to that one, not used to this one. So by no means am I saying that this one is not comfortable. I'm just saying that I slightly prefer mine till now. I will let you know in a year or so when I get used to this one as well. But other than that, it's kind of a middle of a sports grip and let's say classic grip. It's quite far low, so it's really nice to hold, and really I have nothing against this. I want to clarify, just that I prefer a little bit more mine. That's about it. The next thing that got changed, and this is not for all version, but I believe for version 3 only, I have this lever, of course, over here. And this is not practical for left-hand shooters because it does get in the way of the trigger finger. Of course, this is what's left over from the K1 rifle, the bullpup. And with this one, you have it from the top down. I already mentioned this. It's a little hard to grab, and if the pressure is high in the cylinder, it is quite difficult to pull down. So not everyone will like it, but it is what it is. In terms of shape, I like the shape. I have nothing against the shape. Mine looks in some sense a little nicer because it looks shorter. It is a little bit shorter, but let's say, although I like this design, the standard design of trigger guard, it is a little bit big on mine. This was kind of a fluke. I made it too big. There's no excuse. But on this one, it's a bit smaller, and this shape, I don't mind it. Although I would like to have more aggressive look, so they went with this direction, let's say add-ons to make it more interesting. So even these cuts you see here and the trigger, I prefer other direction. I think it would be a little more aggressive looking. But those are such minor things that are just not worth of even talking about. So I do really like how they handle the fact that you can have either without the thread or you can add a thread, and despite this the barrel is still up to here, so the pistol is not longer because you need to thread on an adapter that allows you to put in on suppressor. Of course, with suppressor it looks like this. You have a thread on, and this is really easy to exchange, and at the same time, so this is the thread. And at the same time, it holds this shroud on the pistol, and it holds it really firmly. The last thing I will discuss is the fact that this filling port is over here. In terms of how the pistol is, having a filling port here is excellent for me. It doesn't destroy the looks as it does on mine with the nipple on the end. And at the same time, it's really functional. The only downside is, should you ever choose to regulate it yourself, you will have problems because this is now in front of the regulator. The regulator should be here, right? And it would be a challenge to be able to fill it in this manner without making any mods to this part, or even changing these parts from the rifle version and putting again. Then you have to have charging here, so it would be a challenge I'm sure that there will be manufacturers or regulators that will figure something out and make an option. At least I assume they will, because I'm sure that there will be people that will want to regulate this and have it at slightly lower power, but more consistency, more shot count, and have it for, let's say, a target pistol. So yeah, I'm so happy that Huben decided to do this, and I'm so happy how they did it. It looks amazing, it feels amazing, it shoots amazing. I still love my prototype. My prototype is even a bit lighter than theirs. Mine is exactly 1 kilo, and this is 1.2 kilograms. So not a huge difference, but slight difference. Although you cannot feel the difference when you take it in the hand. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you on the next one.